Metal Up World, this is CJ with CJOrtiz.com and MetalMotivation.com. This is the first of a new 5-message series I'm doing on patience and waiting. Now, this is all shown in my Life Domination online coaching program. You can learn more about that if you visit the link below. Patience and waiting. I guess it's fair to say that we all have to deal with being patient. Fair to say we all have to deal with waiting. Waiting on things to develop, waiting on someone else, waiting on traffic. Life is filled with a hell of a lot of waiting. Life is filled with plenty of opportunities for you and I to become impatient, which means life is a schoolmaster, and one of the main lessons we have to learn is what? Patience. Patience is something we all have to learn. But it's more than just a simple thing to help you deal with waiting around and having to contend with frustration. Patience and waiting is actually a skill. And if you talk to the wise, if you deal with those who are endowed with wisdom, they've learned a lot through patience and waiting. You know, the key to patience, the key to waiting has to do with one thing. And that is that you are focused on the development of something. You want something to develop. So farmers understand patience, right? Botanists understand patience. Doctors have to understand patience. Anybody who deals with anything that takes a long duration, they have to deal with patience. Parents have to deal with patience. If you're out there in traffic every day, you can see plenty of people getting impatient. They don't want somebody cutting them off. They don't want to be held up even for another 2 seconds. They get impatient. We all have the opportunity to be impatient. But the important reason, again, for waiting is to wait for things to develop. So waiting is a skill, and patience is how you do it. I'll say that again. Waiting is a skill, and patience is how you do it. So when it comes to somebody like a farmer or a botanist, waiting is just part of the process. They understand going into it. Part of the work they have to do is to wait. If you're in certain careers or you're in school, you know that there's a lot that you have to wait for. You have to wait to be noticed. You have to wait to garner experience. You have to wait for, the pay raise or whatever it may be. You have to wait for a lot of things in life, and it's a skill, and patience is the way that you do it. So the key to all of this really is patience, and patience is a schoolmaster. It teaches us things. Patience instructs us in the whole process of personal development. What is patience? Well, it's the ability to accept a process, okay? Patience is the ability to accept a process, but it's a process of delay. It's a process that involves suffering. It's a process that involves endurance, and you do it without getting frustrated or upset. That is patience, okay? It's the ability to accept that there is a process to life, and you can endure everything that you have to in the midst of that process. With every process, with every extended period of time, there are plenty of opportunities for obstruction, for hindrances, for resistance, for blockades, you name it. So plenty of opportunities for you to get frustrated, plenty of opportunities for you to get impatient. So the ability to understand that there's a process will end up being you are able to endure these long seasons of suffering, these long seasons of endurance without getting upset and without getting frustrated. Now, I'm not saying you'll never get upset. What I'm saying is that you'll never get upset or frustrated to the degree that it takes you out of the process, to the degree that you don't stick around for what it is you're trying to get to and you end up quitting or something like that. When we lose patience, therefore, we react in anger, okay? When we lose patience, we react in anger. Isn't that the case? You get frustrated, and we say that somebody lost their patience, right? You remember your parents lost their patience with you. You might remember you as a parent losing your patience, or you as a boss or a coworker losing your patience with someone else. Okay, so that means that patience is a something. Patience is a thing that can be lost, which also means it's a thing that can be gained. Patience can be lost, patience can be gained. Patience, therefore, is a commodity. It is something that you can obtain and develop. Now, patience is more than just learning, and this is going to be an important point. Patience is more than just learning how to deal with things or people. You know, people think that that's what patience is. Well, I don't know how you, people, I get that all the time. People will write into me and say, dude, I don't know how you do it. Because they'll read the comments that people say and whatnot on my page. And so they think that I have a tremendous amount of patience because of my dealing with people. Well, patience is more than just learning how to deal with things. We don't want to just deal with things, okay? That's kind of more tolerance, all right? You have a tolerance for pain. You have a tolerance for, cold or heat or whatever. We're not talking about tolerance. We're talking about patience. Patience is different. So patience is more than just learning how to deal with things or people. We need that. But skillful patience is so much more than just tolerance. Skillful patience is so much more than tolerance. To be patient, you've got to have a perspective, an understanding for what's involved in what it is you're waiting for. And that's going to be the key throughout this entire series. To be patient, you've got to have a perspective and an understanding for what is involved in whatever it is you're waiting for. That, in other words, patience is governed by a perspective. Patience is governed by a view of the world. I always talk about this in relation to frustration as an example. When I've raised kids, and maybe you have too. If not, you'll still understand this. When your child, does something wrong or whatever, knocks things over as they're running through the house, you get frustrated, impatient, and you lose it with them, and you yell at them. Okay? What happened in that moment? Well, what happened in the moment is that you got trapped, because that's what frustration is. Frustration is when you get trapped in the moment, which means you lose sight of the big picture. Trapped in the moment means that's all you see. You lose sight of the big picture. Now, when that same kid is doing a dance recital or a piano recital or whatever, playing a soccer game, then you're not losing your patience with them, are you? Why? Because now you're seeing the perspective. You're proud. You're seeing, oh, isn't it special? That's my little kid up there. They're going to grow up to be so wonderful. You've got perspective, therefore you're not frustrated, okay? So impatience has to do with a paradigm. It has to do with the way you see things. You get trapped in the moment, you are going to get impatient. Patience, therefore, is more than just learning how to deal with things. It's about maintaining a perspective and an understanding for what's involved in what it is that you are waiting, whatever it is that you are working towards that takes a long period of time. Can you dig that? I hope you can. So that's what I'm talking about all this week in Patience and Waiting. If you'd like to see the rest of this series, you can do so if you join my Life Domination private coaching group. Just visit the link below, metalmotivation.com/Life Domination Coaching if you'd like to learn more about it. This is CJ, the Metal Motivator. And remember, in whatever you do, don't suck. Metal up.